Hey y'all, it's Dakota Franson. I wanted to do this video real quick to answer some potentially sensitive questions that I have received from a couple of young ladies that who I am pretty sure aren't alone in these matters. Before I get started, I'm going to announce that yes, this is a bit of a sensitive subject on various different levels. And of course, I know that there's probably going to be some viewers out here, not necessarily my subscribers, because you guys are pretty awesome when it comes to being respectful in these type of matters. But there's probably going to be some people that come across this video like, oh, you're such a stupid jackass, this ain't none of your business, you're not a woman, blah, 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 you're some cisgendered man. First off, those people who start up this problem, who try to start up any arguments like this, you're a bunch of fucking idiots, and you can get the hell off of my channels and any of my pages whatsoever. This is a judgment-free zone. This is to spread information, ideas, and not to criticize others. This is to try to understand people, places, cultures, all of that better. And if you come in here starting problems, you're only part of the problem and part of the idiots that are being manipulated through the media and politicians exploiting and perverting these concepts. Okay, so there's my disclaimer. Some of you may not like how I approach that. You know what? I believe in being real with people. I do apologize for that banter. I just have no respect for these types of people. But anyway, back to the main purpose of this video. A couple young ladies have messaged me under different circumstances for each one in regards to whether or not the souls of deceased babies who didn't make it to birth, or maybe didn't make it long after birth, are able to stick around. If they would be able to still see them, still have some sort of experience of having a child around them. And to clarify, the reason why I put that banter up is because this does involve abortion. A young lady who claims she was just curious on the matter, and that's to be expected under today's political climate. If an aborted child can stick around. And also, a couple days after that, I had a young woman who recently lost her child. She miscarried and was wondering if she'll be able to see that child again. So I wanted to go over that, and I also wanted to go over a few other things in regards to that. I have already responded to these ladies, but I feel that there may be more people out there who have similar concerns, who may be just too embarrassed to ask, or are afraid of the type of questions that come up. Like I said, this is a judgment-free zone. Yes, I'm a guy who's made a name for himself chasing dead people, going after monsters that allegedly don't exist. So, the limits on how crazy life can get with me, on how crazy some things sound, you'd be surprised. So, I'm not going to claim to be liberal, conservative, pro-life, or pro-choice. None of that. I don't want any of that here. Okay? These arguments that you people are getting into, they're not achieving anything. And my stance on the matter is a completely different subject. And It revolves on a more scientific approach, if that makes any sense. I'll probably edit that bit out. Maybe not. I don't care. But anyway. Now, the young lady, who I will admit was about high school age, man, that's not uncommon. I get kids all the time that ask me these types of things because they get curious. They watch too much Ghost Adventures and, they get curious. And I don't mind. We got any kids in the audience? Welcome aboard. Don't let anybody harass you too much, alright? So, I know I'm kind of jumping around here. Let's get down to the matter. Now, let's put it this way. Whatever the case may be, whatever brought you to the point where you lost a child, however the circumstances may be, yes, a child who has not been born yet, or may have only lived for a few days or a couple months, yes, they can still come back. They can still stick around. And it's not, I have yet to come across a case where the kid's pissed off because they didn't get to be born and experience life. The reincarnation process is there so they can have another shot. I'm just going to put that out there. Yes, you didn't. If you feel like that you did something wrong and you completely screwed that kid out of a chance of experience life, the reincarnation cycle takes this into consideration. Kids can be reincarnated and they may be reborn as their own siblings. I haven't heard of that exactly happening, but I've heard of cases where grandparents become reincarnated into their own grandchildren. So it's not exactly outside the realm of possibilities. There's not a case where the child seems to be angry. If that is the case, oftentimes the mother may be experiencing some very severe depression episodes and should probably seek help as soon as possible. Not from anybody in the paranormal field, trained psychologists, support groups, things of that nature. Because that's honestly a sign that you got other problems going on in your head that are not supernatural in any way, shape, or form. Now, I'm going to bring up one case where a lady, she started having kids at a really young age, basically got involved with some really shady guys, thinking that they're the one, they're going to stick around. By the way, if we have any young ladies in the audience, high school aged, late teens, early 20s, don't always trust a guy you're going to stick around just because you have a kid, okay? I'm just saying that right now. Too many guys out there, big pussies. I just had a guy who broke off his engagement because his no longer soon to be wife was harassing him about playing video games all the time. Yeah, just an example. Anyway, back to what I'm talking about. I know I tend to jump around a lot. I'm working on it. That's why I have my own show and can easily fill up an hour. So anyway, this lady, she started having kids at a young age, and the first child she ever became pregnant with didn't make it. She miscarried about 6 months in, if I remember correctly. Yes, that does matter. Now, she has gone on to have several other kids, and as well as a few other miscarriages. Sometimes when you dig into these types of cases, you gotta go into the nitty-gritty personal stuff. Her siblings, the first child siblings that didn't make, the first child siblings that made it, they all say that he appears to them about the age of 4, 5, maybe 6. Now to the mother, this child appears like he's in his early 20s. He's basically my age, and I'm 20. He appears like he's about my age, and I'm 23 years old. So, yes, the child can still come around. And they can also be reincarnated if they so choose. Sometimes the child sticks around just because they still want to meet their family. They want to meet their family. And that's the only way they knew how. Because it doesn't exactly seem like it's a guaranteed hit if you're going to land into the exact family that they missed out on. They may end up in an alternate universe type situation. The mechanics behind that are way too long, way too comprehensive to put into this video, so we're going to leave it at that. As for children that are aborted, same situation applies. Sometimes the child still hangs around. It seems that most of the time the child is simply around because they sense their mother is feeling guilty. Now, I do know with some abortion cases, the would-be mother asks the doctor not to reveal the gender of the fetus, so she's not able to develop a personal attachment to it. Under those cases, it does seem like the child simply moves on because they don't feel like they're needed. It's kind of sad when you really think about it. Now, I mentioned in a previous video that there was a subject that was kind of sensitive that I was kind of hesitant to mention on. This is it. And if you paid attention so far and you haven't skipped through anything, yeah, you can probably see why I say that. But nevertheless, like I said, this is a judgment-free zone. I better not see anybody targeting anybody in the comments or on any of my pages. I mean that. I have my own stance on the matters, but that's not what I'm going to include. That's not what this video is going to be about. This is about answering questions on whether or not the child still sticks around. Short answer, yes. But like I said, there's certain circumstances. Now, this is a little bit shitty part. This is a part that I'm a little bit shaky on, and all of this, just about everything I've stated is on speculation, so I could be completely wrong on the matter. But there does seem to be a point where the soul actually enters into the fetus. According to fetal development, the brain is about formed enough to the typical newborn infant status. Starts to get to that point right around during 8 weeks of pregnancy. It appears that the soul is formed and can only be housed once that brain is developed just enough. There's now you say, "Oh, Dakota, what if the brain doesn't develop all the way?" Well, that's the thing. If the brain doesn't develop fully, something goes wrong, a soul can still be housed. There has to be something in here for the soul to be housed. The exact mechanics behind it are difficult to map out, but it seems like mammals and some species of birds have the capabilities to house some sort of soul matrix, is a term I've used often. If something, why do I bring this up? Let's say something goes wrong early on in the pregnancy before the brain's actually able to develop. Could this is there really any life to it? It depends. It's hard to really say for sure. I don't want to state my own opinions on the matter. I'd rather go on scientific fact, and obviously there are a lot of ethical reasons that this is going to be hard to map out. So that's why I have to say on the matter. If you have any further questions, please do feel free to ask. If you're uncomfortable with sharing them in a YouTube comment, find me on my website. You can find me on my website. I'm on Facebook, Twitter. I'm on Snapchat, Instagram. Full list should be right in the description of where you can find me online. Private messages. All the details you share with me will be kept between you and I. Okay? Okay. So I hope I answered some of your questions. Please do stay tuned because more videos are to come. See you next time.